Good evening, Anthony Perlasers. Put a smile on your face. Today is a lovely Ash Wednesday. I think it's March 5th, March 6th, one of those days. Heading to church. And man, we got some exciting news coming up. The whole basis of this model agency. And I had this ex-girlfriend, or, she went by, I call her. Yeah, her name is Sarah, and I think I've spoken to you guys about her. She's the whole basis of how we found out about, image modeling. In a days where, escorts were charging $1,500 an hour, 4 hours, $4,000. As a guy, I'm like, I'm not, it's not even worth it. I just want to hit the gym. I just want to go to dinner. I'm not trying to have sex with anyone, right? Or having that intimacy. You just want an arm candy. And she was like, oh, the other night we were in conversation. I approached her for the campaign that we were doing back then, where we would take beautiful girls to Equinox, and they would get free training, and we would get them access to Equinox valued at $4,000 or $5,000 a year. They would get personalized training from me, and we would network with wealthy people in West Hollywood. And this is an arrangement. And most girls in Los Angeles, I spoke with a few. They're not really looking for money; they're just looking for a different lifestyle, and they would exchange their time for, let's say you live in a mansion, you go to Equinox. They're just trying to upgrade their network for friend group. And she was like, yeah, I took $500, and I was out with this lawyer for like an hour and a half. It was like at a conference. We had dinner. It's almost like a promotional dinner. And this opened my eyes in terms of image modeling, right? Most people would rather have the maximum amount of money for the least amount of time, and this would kind of involve sex work for women. And the issue with this is that it's not really ethical, in a sense that I've been numerous times in the receiving end as a male, from your wife, from your girlfriends and stuff. A lot of women feel like, well, this guy is spending thousands on me, XYZ. You don't love me as much. Why am I with you? They're kind of going for an upgrade, right? They stop valuing you, and you said it. They think that they're out of your league, and this creates a break in terms of relationships. The relationships, at bottom line, that's supposed to be a trade of affinity for affinity, love for love, not love for time, love for money. That exchange, right? Sex work kind of expands a multitude of facets, of layers that in the end the guy always loses, right? You're competing a lot, and women have pretty much upgraded their psyche, since World War II. They've always been left whenever the man dies in the caveman days. The woman has to find a new male to kind of survive. So she is able to kind of move on a lot quicker than a male does. The bond is gone if you're tooled by other guys, or she finds a better upgrade. In this her hypergamous nature. In the end, the male never wins in that aspect, right? So what this means is, I got back in touch with her after a year. I texted her once every few weeks, every month, and then finally, after my last contact with her is April, but I just suddenly hit her up. Lent is coming up, and she's Islam, and then I got communication. So having this reinforcement, our agency is kind of able to get clients, not so much for escorting work. Our model agency, does not deal with escorting jobs. Strictly we want a longer lasting agency where the modeling we do, it's brand ambassadorship, promotional modeling, event staffing, image modeling, photo shoots, runways, social media marketing, salespeople, these are the models that our agency represents and stand for, rather than the other way around. So with Sarah kind of backing us up, as one of the high-end escorts in Los Angeles. Now she moved to France, right? But now she's in Geneva. But we're able to kind of have that. She has this exclusive network, giving us tips, kind of like an insider. From a female standpoint, she's kind of advising me. The clientele that she's built in LA, and her global. She has access to different women that we don't have access to in her model agency. Yeah, it's become that aspect. Now, the second character is, we're navigating goddess number 18, right? 16th and 17th has pretty much failed on the initiation, right? And we can trace it back to really suppressive groups in terms of the kind of like the influences of the models, and I could spot whoever the model's hanging out with. So it's kind of like if you're this model and you have an abusive boyfriend that kind of takes away your phone and throws away your car keys. Suddenly you're stuck with him. You don't have a car. It breaks down your car, and you're not able to communicate with your friends, and he's kind of blackmailing you because you're underage, going to the nightclub, and that's your boyfriend, right? Imagine you're that girl, so you're fighting to survive, you're navigating, you're only like 19 or 20. You're afraid of the police, you're afraid of your career, and I'm sure that boyfriend has nudes from the girl or bad. So that's what girls have to navigate. It's like, imagine your car key being taken away, imagine your cell phone being taken away, and the threat of your reputation. All you have is modeling. You've never had a job. If that's your boyfriend, of course you're going to be influenced in a bad way towards the agency, and the same boyfriend could kind of badmouth you in front of your own model and then take the model away from you, right? And that's kind of like what happened in 16th generation, right? 17th generation is the similar matter, where the model's kind of influenced by friends and kind of pressured, oh, don't work with this agency XYZ, but then they're kind of asked to kind of go with the promoter for free, and like, this agency doesn't pay you enough money, it's $100 an hour. So like, wow, 1 hour each night, 28 days a year, and then suddenly, oh, it's not enough money, but don't go with them, it only pays $100 an hour, but go with us. Yeah, it's free, we're not going to pay you. The influence you have is the social pressure. It's like, if the girl's not, she wants what feels good instead of what's true, that becomes the pressure. They're not able to kind of take the drama. So kind of like you're letting the people's attacks kind of pressure you if all you want is peace, right? And that's when we know kind of like the game changer that our agency has is that, it is pretty controversial in that sense, but we give bad information to spot the leakages of who supports you versus who doesn't. In the end, when people see that you're vulnerable, that you don't have any support, in this case, we do have support, but we're kind of acting like we don't. It kind of tells who the good people and who the bad people, who wants you to succeed versus who doesn't want you to succeed. And especially if you have a model, not wanting to give your agency money, your agency does not get any money from the model, that's like not a good model to kind of be around with, because you're there for profit, to make money. And then if your model's not in alignment with your core mission, make money, and finds an upgrade, that becomes kind of like a liability to the agency. And if you don't give them the liability, you become the liability. And that's kind of like, that's why we put our contracts with the agency are 2 months, because we know that in 2 months they should find already like a better upgrade, a sugar daddy, or a better opportunity, because our agency is network based. We thrive off the network, and then the model would just be awaiting reactivation, more so than kind of like not having that reactivation methods. Um, but all are welcome back, and I'm glad that every model that I worked with, they found a better opportunity at Equinox, a better opportunity at the nightclub. So we're doing good. We're improving girls' lives. That core mission, that's kind of like our non-profit mission, right? But as an agency, yeah, we are looking for profits, and we can't really demand too much time from the model in terms of like her not getting paid enough, and it doesn't make sense kind of signing exclusive contracts for 2 years when it's closing down opportunities for you. And but the agency, we're pretty competent when it comes to training and the technologies we deliver, and the alignments we have with people. It's kind of second to none, and especially with Sarah back in the picture, we're able to have a better life hack, insider secrets of the inner workings of kind of like these modeling networks, right? And as we scout for Goddess 18, we have a Russian, she's 5'8", redhead, young girl. She's coming out. I have her scheduled for the weekend, Friday through the weekend, right? And of course, we have the Goddess reveal, Venus as well, also at the same height. Valentina from Russia, and then Venus from Hungary. So we have some Eastern Europeans coming over for the weekend, and with these two new kind of agency candidates, Valentina and the other girl, Venus, V&V, we kind of have a new taste in the agency. One's a fashion model, and then the other one is also kind of in this network of kind of this leadership of how do I say it, domination in terms of leadership, right? So the Goddess is finally going to be, by definition, a dominatrix, like a Roman goddess, right? That's what domina means, right? In Rome back then, the Caesars, the Dominus, they were seen as gods in that sense. It's like kind of like Kim Jong-un from North Korea. He's like not human. He's like a god in North Korea, and that's how the Roman Empire kind of ran. Their political candidates were actually like gods, and that's kind of like how we're running the agency. So instead of having a more submissive personality of the agency, the Goddess we're training into a dominant. We're hoping that Venus can kind of lead it more from the dominant, and her experience in kind of like the domination of men, and seeing how she's able to be task oriented. We can kind of create this culture of a mind link between the models as well, in terms of domination, submission, obedience, and I think that adds to the fact of the agency. Then with the other girl, the Russian girl, who's also a fashion model, we're able to better kind of manage the agency instead of having the agency's work being a lot of naive girls being influenced by the outside, and yeah. So loyalty plays an important role, because we need to be able to profit off the model in 2 months. So now it's only a matter of building a team of 20 girls to kind of go out each night, instead of having us train. So it's like like basically the training we're doing to the model, it's a lot, but the money they're giving, it's not a lot back. So now having a more experienced model, we're able to kind of, so we already established a network. We can get into the nightclubs. We're seen as a promoter. Now we're just trying to build the masses. So a lot of it is done with recruiting, a more organized approach to management of the models, and giving them more network opportunities, giving them more leadership, focusing less, like I said, on the culture, because the culture is, we're always taken out of the game from the culture standpoint. As in a sense, we are fun in the agency, and they're seeing us more of the provider, but none of the promoters are also paying. But if we paid all girls, we would lose business. We paid 5 girls, right? $500, for example. Each night we would need to sell $5,000 to kind of break even. So, and the girls aren't providing value to the table, especially if a lot of girls are partying. Um, so with the goddess Venus kind of coming in, we might even split the shifts. 2 or 3 nights of nightclubs, 4 days of kind of gym time, and kind of recruiting to kind of bring to the 3 days, because right now the whole 7 days it's good, but the models kind of get exhausted, right? And we're not able to get our ROI. So we're getting a lot of eyes, a lot of attention, but not a lot of profit. And the culture of the agency is like lower instead of like being higher. So with those 2 shifts, Sarah, Venus, and then Valentina, that's going to change the core team. That's going to be the 3 brides at the agency. Well, Sarah's working from a distance from Geneva, but giving us an insight. So 2, and then 18th generations, we're going to have that 5 brides, and then from there we just head on by, and be on the attack, on the offense, right? So gonna head over for Lent. What are we giving up? Just, I guess, the pleasures, spending more time with valuing ourselves and having less people who are liabilities and more who kind of support us and support our dreams, support the agency. Hope you guys are killing it out there. Happy Lent. It's going to be a glory of 40 days.